The border has been closed or restricted, let's say, not fully closed, because of COVID-19 for more than a year now. And now that as COVID-19 numbers are trending downwards, it seems like the Americans are doing an amazing job vaccinating. We're on track. We're doing a great job. How do Canadians feel about opening the border, and what's the most important factor for them in that decision?
Well, we are a border country. The fact of the matter is, Michael, is that 90% of Canadians live within a 1 hour drive of the US border. So we have a fixation on that. It's the most traveled international border for Canadians. And in a recent survey that we did for CTV News and the Globe and Mail, we asked Canadians about what should be the primary lens or factor that the government should use when it comes to reopening the border. And we placed before them a binary choice, right? Two choices, either jobs in the economy or the pandemic. And what's interesting is that almost 8 out of every 10 Canadians, or 79%, said that public health issues should be the primary lens when it comes to making decisions about opening the border. And about 18%, or 1 out of every 5, said it should be jobs and the economy. So it's still all about the pandemic when it comes to decisions related to opening the Canada-US border.
I find that fascinating, Nick. I mean, numbers are trending down, but the concern is still about public health. And does this possibly suggest Canadians are worried that if we reopen too early, that numbers will start trending up again?
Well, I think now there's the sense that Canadians are doing a better job than the Americans at vaccinating, first vaccinations and second vaccinations. And in the United States, there's such a diversity of situations right across the United States that perhaps Canada will be at risk. But I think if you happen to be part of a business organization or an enterprise that relies on an open border and the movement of people, like the trucking industry, the tourist industry, all that kind of stuff, you got to be worried about something like this because for those corporate interests, you're thinking about jobs in the economy and prosperity, right? Dollars and cents. And then at the same time, if you're a politician, you're looking at these numbers and going, yeah, the economy is important, but the pandemic and public health should not be diminished as a key factor in making decisions. So I think what we might see is a little bit of tension where, enterprises within Canada want to see a full open border, but at the same time, Canadians will be saying, yes, but we still need to make sure that it makes sense from a public health perspective.
On previous Trendline episodes, I think we've also talked about how Canadians feel about the economy, and it's generally still quite positive. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, our Bloomberg Nanos tracking suggests that consumer confidence is still quite strong, and people expect a bit of a rebound in the fall. But there's a very interesting survey, Michael, that we did with Power Play when we asked Canadians about what issues would be important if there was an election. And at the top of the list was not the pandemic. Actually, it was jobs in the economy and things like healthcare and the deficit and the environment. The pandemic was actually issue number 5.
Wow.
So I think that should be quite striking for anyone thinking about what the next election will be about, because for the Liberals to run on the pandemic won't be enough. Canadians want to hear about jobs in the economy and prosperity and what's going to happen next.